There are a lot of questions when it comes to the Sonic franchise, like how fast can Sonic run? How does Tails' Tails work? Why was Ken Penner's allowed to work on the Archie Sonic comics? All big questions, but today we're going to try and answer a small but still a brain-toggling question. How does Shadow's jet shoes work? Hello everyone, David here from That One Sonic Fan, and we're going to try and dissect how Shadow's shoes operate, what is its fuel source, and any other small nitpicks that I can find or babble on about like I always do. But we should start off pointing out what we do know about these shoes. And also, to clarify, I'm only using canon material, so sorry, but no Archie or IDW, Boom, or Fleetway, sorry. Only canon continuity. The jet shoes made their first appearance along with Shadow in Sonic Adventure 2 in 2001, sporting a white base with some black padding near the heel, along with some red metal plates at the heel and toe. Underneath the shoe is where the 5 yellow jet ports are located, and also to note that there are grooves near the heel of the shoe, which allows Shadow to grind on the rails, sorta similar to Sonic's soap shoes. And to top it off, we got the iconic gold inhibitor rings to go around the tongue of the shoe. We don't know too much about the shoe's history, only knowing that it's one of a kind. As a matter of fact, we've never seen any other character wear them, with Mephiles being the only exception of course, but he was a copy of Shadow, so it doesn't really count, and we never see him use them. Anyway, combined with the fact that Shadow is never seen wearing any other pair of shoes, except for the time where he wore Darkness. Yes, that's the name of the shoes. A pair of extreme gear made by Robotnik Corp. Shadow wore these during Sonic Riders. Hello, future David here while editing this video. Any character in Sonic Riders can wear these shoes, it isn't just limited to Shadow. Anyway, back to the video. Overall, this means that the jet shoes are a one of a kind. No replacements, no spares. I bring this up because it means that the material these shoes are made of have to be stupendously durable. I mean, you got a goddamn hedgehog falling from orbitable distance down to Earth.
It came out of nowhere, a bright speck in the sky, soon streaking across the horizon, followed by an almost apocalyptic scene, a blinding flash of light, and then all hell broke loose.
I'm the coolest.
And is still wearing these shoes. Let's get to the main reason of this video. How these shoes allow Shadow to skate around. Well, even though these shoes were indeed made by Professor Joe Robotnik, the smartest goddamn character in the franchise, I'm no engineer, alrighty? So I wouldn't know in deep detail how these could operate or how these could work, but by using just common sense, we can conclude that there's no fucking engine or fuel source like petrol or diesel in these shoes. I mean, think about it. You would need an engine that is small enough to fit into these shoes, to be able to have an output that allows Shadow to keep up with Sonic. You know, the fastest all around. Also, you'll need to have the most fuel efficient resource to allow Shadow to even keep up at those speeds for long periods of time. Because I looked around at these shoes and there doesn't seem to be any goddamn fuel cap or anywhere where Shadow can just fuel up. So I'm sorry, but there is no diesel or petrol engine being used here. And we know from the fact that it has combustion, you know, flames and all that, it can't be, you know, air related. It's not air shoes. There's no fans or anything pushing down to keep it up, so fuck. We're stuck at square one again. I say, how about we just put a pin in this for the moment, alrighty? We'll just grab a pin and just, boom, just put it in. Alrighty, because there's still another glaring issue to get into when we're talking about Shadow's shoes, besides, you know, the engine and the fuel source. How does Shadow even control them? And I feel like a lot of people sort of, that goes over their heads. Because even if we're able to find an engine that is able to fit inside of these shoes and find a good, reliable fuel source for the engine to be able to, allow Shadow to keep up with Sonic and all that, how would he even control it? We know Shadow, despite being an artificial being, he is still biological. There's no cybernetics or augmentations that would allow this. We know his gloves don't have any form of electronics to communicate to the shoes. He doesn't wear any other device to allow that sense of communication. So how would these shoes even work? Some people might say, they're probably motion based or something. Like if Shadow reaches a certain speed, then the shoes will automatically go into a jet mode, They would automatically activate and continue forward. But that doesn't really explain instances where Shadow just goes, flies. Uses their shoes to just fly off. Or what about Shadow being able to control the speed of the shoes? Because once he starts, how would he even slow down? If he's not controlling the shoes manually and is relying on an automatic system, how would he be able to control that speed? To slow down, to stop and all that? Another thing a lot of people have come to a sort of answer on is that there's buttons in the shoes, which I do not like that. Mainly because I don't like the idea of combining feet and Sonic in the same topic. Despite the fact we're talking about shoes. I've been on DeviantArt, Rule 34, and many websites to know. No. The reason why buttons wouldn't work is because how muscles and all that work in our body. I mean, just grab your hand, alrighty? And move your index finger, or your first finger, bend it down. Alright, and you'll notice, depending how far you bend it or how you curl it up, your middle finger and ring finger will move along with it. Same thing if you do it to your other fingers. Get your ring finger and bend it down, and you'll notice the pinky and the middle finger also moves. And it's the same thing with your toe. Just bend your big toe down, and you would see that all the other small little digits down there will follow suit because they are all connected and all that shit. Biology and all that. So it would be very difficult for Shadow to, use his toes to press buttons that controls his jet shoes. That is a sentence I never thought I would say. And even then, even if there were buttons, they would have to be very limited, because obviously if you're going to have all your toes move, then you're going to have a limited selection to even have options. And even then, they're inside of shoes. They're going to be so compact, alrighty? Whenever Shadow steps or walks, he's going to be pressing down, and if the buttons are underneath his toes, he's going to be pressing those buttons when he's just normally walking. So there's going to be a lot of accidental activations, misfires and all that. Which brings us back to square fucking one again. We don't know an energy source or power source or fuel source. We don't know a good engine that would be able to work with it, and we don't know how Shadow would even be able to operate this with the information we are given. It's just so fucking chaotic and chaos and shit. Wait a minute. Holy shit, wait a minute. That's it. That is it. Holy shit. I think I just figured it out. A big eureka moment. Okay, I'm gonna stop pretending like I just thought of it now, because Obviously, I had to research this, so I won't beat it around the bush. What if Shadow's shoes, the power source and all that, is chaos energy? This makes a lot more sense. It explains the combustion, because we know chaos energy can make explosions and combustion and all that. Not only that, it would explain why it wouldn't need to be refueled, because it's chaos energy. And lastly, it explains how Shadow can control it. It's part of him being the ultimate life form. It's why he can use chaos abilities without needing a Chaos Emerald. I mean, just look at the games Adventure 2, Shadow the Hedgehog, Sonic 06, and all that. And in these games, there are a lot of instances where Shadow teleports, where Shadow uses Chaos Spear or any other Chaos ability, Blast, Lance, Boost and all that, and he does them without using a Chaos Emerald. Not only that, it also makes sense on the aspect of Professor Joe Robotnik. He spent and dedicated a good portion of his life studying chaos energy because, you know, he was trying to create the ultimate life form. So it makes sense that he would have a great understanding of it. I mean, hell, he created the fucking Bio Lizard, he created Shadow, the Eclipse Cannon. He is a brilliant, ingenious scientist. Like, his knowledge is decades beyond anyone else at the time. So it would indeed make sense for him to be able to find a way to get chaos energy into these shoes. I mean, hell, he even created the inhibitor rings for Shadow. You know, the inhibitor rings that inhibit the chaos energy, his full potential. So, in conclusion, Shadow's shoes are powered and controlled with chaos energy. Shadow is able to control it because of his unique abilities and traits of being the ultimate life form. It makes sense on how they would be powered given the backstory and profession of Professor Joe Robotnik. And I know some people might rebuttal saying, oh, but we know that chaos energy can run out, as we see in like Unleash, where fucking the Chaos Emeralds turned black or greyish, depending on what you want to call it, and had to go to the temples to refill it up like a Duracell battery. But considering Shadow has chaos energy inside of him, and seeing as how he's always constantly next to a fucking Chaos Emerald every 2 seconds, it's fair to say that those shoes are always constantly being charged. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Like, dislike, comment, and of course subscribe. And you know what? If you disagree with any of the statements that I made, or if you have your own interpretations and ideas, feel free to leave it in the comments below. I love to see what you guys come up with. After all, this is just speculations and theories. So I love to see what you guys come up with. But anyway, yeah, I'll see you guys next time.